Hey everybody, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Devo with Bo-O. It is July 28th. Yes! With music that makes me feel like I'm kind of at a hockey game or something, you know. But anyway, hope you guys are jamming and enjoying and had a good, interesting day yesterday. Always, always good in Christ, but man, certainly interesting. And I mean interesting in a good way. Usually when I say interesting, I'm usually meaning like a lot to think about. And nothing's wrong with that. I was thinking about our missionaries, or just the missionaries that I know all over the world. I think of guys in India and Africa and, just Papua New Guinea, China. Anyway, and just need to think about that. But welcome to the Devo. Thank you. My name's Bo. I get to be your guys' host. This is my devotion time. I get to share it with you guys. I'm in the book of Job 13 and 14, and we're ready to go. It's July 28th. It is Friday, and we got Paula, Marcia ready to go already. Others will join hopefully later. You can always remember go to the YouTube channel, and if you click the live button, you'll see kind of the most recent videos. So Job's going to town. He is talking and he's responding to Zophar's critique of what's going on in Job's life, right? And Job has already kind of said some pretty interesting things like, oh man, you're so wise so far, right? You really know everything, man. Wisdom's gonna die with you when you die. It's kind of an interesting start to Job's response to Zophar. And in verse 13, we see how Job continues. Look, I have seen all this with my own eyes and heard it with my own ears, and now I understand. I know so much as you do. You are no better than I am. As for me, I would speak directly to the Almighty. Again, he's really going after Zophar here. I want to argue my case with God himself. As for you, you smear me with lies. As physicians, you are worthless quacks. That's the wisest thing you could do. Listen to my charge. Pay attention to my arguments. Woo! He's really, really giving it to his buddy. For Zophar's, supposed great theological response to why Job is suffering like he is. Listen to my charge. Pay attention to my arguments. Are you defending God with lies? Do you make your dishonest arguments for his sake? Will you slant your testimony in his favor? Will you argue God's case for him? What will happen when he finds out what you are doing? Can you fool him as easy as you fool people? Whoa. Woo, that's a good statement. Can you fool God? Or can you fool God as you fool other people? Woo. It's like I think of that and I go, man. The answer obviously is no, you can't. But it's good to think about that in the devotion. Do I think I need to stand up for the Almighty? Do I think I have to, somehow he needs me to defend him, to be his defender? Or is he not my defender? How am I really looking at God? And I like how Job just understands that, God's so much bigger and better than you. Do you think that you can fool the Almighty by your amazing, intellect, by your arguments? Nope, it ain't gonna happen. Maybe I need to think through kind of arguments, my defending God. Maybe I got to think through that and go, when I'm with family or friends, do I feel like I got to defend God? Like I got to somehow convince them that, God's real. Oh, God's real. And I have some kind of weird vibe about that instead of just, sharing with them, the life, death, resurrection of Jesus. and just letting it stay right there. Meaning God can defend himself. God can reveal himself. He can touch people. It doesn't mean I don't proclaim the gospel. No, I gotta proclaim the gospel. That's what Jesus tells us to do. But I certainly don't have to defend God. Give a reason for the hope within me? Absolutely. So Job says, hey man, are you defending God with lies? You might be able to fool men, of your great piety and your amazing intellect, not God. What will happen when he finds out what you were doing? You can't fool him. No, you will be in trouble with him. Verse 10, if you secretly slant your testimony in his favor. Isn't that interesting? You will be in trouble with him if you secretly slant your testimony in his favor. Doesn't his majesty terrify you? If you make things, good for yourself, you puff yourself up. It says, doesn't your fear of him overwhelm you? Your platitudes are as valuable as ashes. Your defense is as fragile as a clay pot. Wow. It just kind of throws a little bit of a monkey wrench, I guess, in that idea that, I'm going to just, Zophar's apologetics are going to win the day. He's so good at defending God. He's so good at defending the faith. He knows how to slant every argument. He knows how to get it all right. He knows how to get all the ducks in a row. But yet, he don't got it down. He don't know everything. He don't even know that much. What does Job say? Man, you're just like me. I'm just like you. I'm just like the person down the road. We're all very much alike. That was a Twilight Zone, by the way, Rod Serling, right? What is it? People are alike everywhere. I don't know if you ever saw that Twilight Zone, but it's a good one. Very good one, right? Humans tend to be the same. All sin, it says, is common to what? Human beings. That's right. So it says, be silent now and leave me alone. Let me speak and I will face my consequences. Yes, I will take my life in my hands and say what I really think. God might kill me, but I have no other hope. I am going to argue my case with him. Hey, I have no other hope. Very much puts himself on the mercy of God. This is very King David-like, by the way, in your Bible. The guy who wrote so many of the Psalms. Why was David a man after God's own heart? Well, maybe it's because David put himself on the mercy of God. I would not survive if it wasn't for God's mercy. King David says stuff like that, right? It's like, Lord, without your mercy, I'm toast. And Job says, I'm not gonna try to gain, get consoled by your apologetics so far, but I'm gonna get all my hope rest in God's mercy, because he's the infinite God, so it means he must have an infinite amount of mercy as well. So I'm going to lean on that. And he says, but this is what will save me. I am not godless. If I were, I could not stand before him. Listen closely to what I'm about to say. Hear me out. I have prepared my case. I will be proved innocent. Who can argue with me over this? And if you prove me wrong, I will remain silent and die. O God, grant me two things, and then I will be able to face you. Remove your heavy hand from me and don't terrify me with your awesome presence. Now summon me and I will answer, or let me speak to you, and you reply. Tell me, what have I done wrong? Show me my rebellion and my sin. Why do you turn away from me? Why do you treat me as an enemy? Notice how the emotions of Job, how he feels what? Distant from God. Forsaken. Doesn't that sound like someone on the cross, on the Roman, being crucified? My God, why hast thou what? Forsaken me? Feeling a distance, feeling that that kind of space between you and the Almighty. Something's not right. Why is this happening? Why do I not know what's going on? You want to know. You want to be in the know. We want to know why everything happens the way it happens. But as Job's declaring, we just, as human beings, we just don't know it all. But hey, we assume that it must be something I've done wrong. There's got to be something maybe I've done. We tend to roll right into the reaping and sowing principle right off the bat. There must be a cause to the effect. And so, the ramifications for my sin is God certainly turning away. Why would you terrify? He says, would you terrify a leaf blown by the wind? Would you chase dry straw? You write bitter accusations against me and bring up all the sins of my youth. You put my feet in stocks. You examine all my paths. You trace all my footsteps. I waste away like a rotting wood, like a moth-eaten coat. Woo! And again, nothing's wrong with the theology. So much of the theology is right on what Job's talking about. Sounds great. That's right. That's right. There's a distance between humans and God. And we see that all around us. That's obviously the case because you don't walk out and there's the deity. So it's like, again, when I was younger, and of course did not know anything about the Bible or Christians or whatever, when I would argue that, hey, I don't see God, so there must not be a God, I was actually affirming a biblical truth. The truth is that God is distant, and that is affirmed in our Bible throughout it all, right? This is the beauty of Jesus. He's come to reveal the Father, make God known in a world that is like Job going, I don't see the deity. I don't know where God's at. Sounds distant, feels distant, And if he is around, he's probably somewhere out there punishing us, allowing us to kill ourselves because we're nuts, kind of thing. So it says in verse 14, how frail is humanity. Oh, see, you could see where Job's going, right? Right where we go. Man, we are a mess. How short is life, how full of trouble. We blossom like a flower and then wither like a passing shadow. We quickly disappear. Isn't that so true? You seem to be doing well. Your body seems to be fine. And then next moment, boom, it's done. It seems like it's just going downhill. It's so quick. Must you keep an eye on such a frail creature and demand an accounting from me? Oh, my heavens. Why do you have to be so personal? Notice Job all the way back in the day, thousands and thousands of years ago, relates that God is personal. He is not distant. Although we wish he was distant and he would remove his supposed eye from us, he's right there. Whoa, right? And, just thinking, hey, God, through Jesus, God has drawn close to us, made a way for us to be brought near. This is the idea, right? All through the New Testament, Jesus has brought us near. He has reconciled us. This is kind of that idea. He's brought us close to himself. This is that idea, again, of sacrifice, offering, which means what? To bring near. Offering means that, to bring near. And so this was something that Job understood. And he says, you have decided the length of our lives. You know how many months we will live, and we will not be given another minute longer. So leave us alone and let us rest. We are like hired hands, so let us finish our work in peace. Even a tree has more hope. If it is cut down, it will sprout again and grow new branches. So true. Try to get rid of a tree, man. That's a difficult thing. Though his roots have grown old in the earth and its stump decays, at the scent of water it will bud and sprout again like a new seedling. Wow, so true, right? Something seems so dead, and yet just in a little bit of water, something starts coming to life. It is really, truly amazing. When you think of how the world works, right? I guess maybe it would be called organic biology, maybe? Natural laws. Just how things work out there. It's amazing. And if you're like me, you get kind of frustrated because you think you got you pulled it up. You think it's done, but it ain't done. It seems like it just keeps coming back. Unreal. It says, when people die, their strength is gone. They breathe their last, and where are they? As water evaporates from a lake, a river disappears in drought. People are laid to rest and do not rise again until the heavens are no more. They will not wake up, nor be roused from their sleep. Man, it seems like, just as a person when they're dead, you don't see them just come back. He says, it seems like, gosh, that's how much lack of hope we have and everything. It seems like everything's so definitive. I've been to a lot of memorials, never seen someone come back. Gosh, we're toast. How frail we are. This is the idea. This is the theme. I wish, he says, I wish you would hide me in the grave and forget me there until your anger has passed. But mark your calendar to think of me again. Can the dead live again? If so, this would give me hope through all my years of struggle, and I would eagerly await the release of death. Wow, can the dead live again? Right? Is there life after death? Job starts pondering. He starts thinking. And it's not an idea that is beyond the Almighty. He knows that God is powerful enough. You would call and I would answer. You would yearn for me, your handiwork. For then you would guard my steps instead of watching for my sins. Man, there's this idea that, God, you can redeem, you can glorify, you can make perfect, you can raise back up. I mean, it's really cool that Job has these things of contemplating. And I think this is what I want to kind of get out of the Devo too, is that, when I contemplate my own death, which Job is doing, I want to also contemplate God's power to resurrect. I don't want to lack that latter, to the former. I want to be able to have a real balanced approach at this. Yeah, that's true, I'm going to die. And yeah, I'm not sure how it's going to happen. But I also ponder the incredible power that is in the deity, is in God, and the promises that I have of his resurrection. Man, that is cool stuff. And he talks about his sins would be sealed in a pouch and you would cover my guilt. Wow, it would be done. You'd raise me from the dead. I would be like new. Isn't that cool? Job's pondering this. Very neat. We should too. But instead, as mountains fail and crumble, as rocks fall from a cliff, as water wears away the stones, and floods wash away the soil, so you destroy people's hope. So it seems like, man, it's done. It seems like there is no hope. There's one thing that you've done, God, is you've made it very clear that there is no hope without you. Without you doing that resurrected work, without you redeeming us, without you covering our sin. If we are left to our own with you, there is no hope. And that is where this world's at. There is no hope. There's none. There's nothing people can turn to. We need a resurrection. Absolutely. A change of everything. We need a new heart, a new mind. We need new eyes. We need new ears. We need everything new because we just can't get it right. And that's what we see empirically, scientifically, in this world. No matter how much we try, no matter how much we work on, we put asphalt on the ground. That's not good for nothing. Everything we do, we mess up. It's just unreal. You build your house, you tear down too many trees. You tear down too many trees, this happens. I mean, it just goes on. It's like a domino effect. Unbelievable, right? And when you ponder all that, you go, man. We need everything new. Everything's got to be changed. The former has to go away. This sounds a lot like the end of the book of what? Revelation. Yeah, last book of the Bible. It says, you always overpower humans. and they pass from the scene. You disfigure them in death and send them away. They never know if their children grow up in honor or sink to insignificance. They suffer painfully. Their life is full of trouble. Wow. Job's seeing things right on. He is on the mark, right? He is seeing the reality the way it is, the way he sees it, the way science has taught him. Meaning this is the way it looks, this is the way it goes, he realizes that without God on his side, it's done. One thing to remember today is that you can always look to the cross and remember God's on your side. And that's what you could do today, is just look at the cross and remember that God is on your side. You wear a cross, some people wear crosses, whatever. If you do, you do. And you just remember that God is with you, that God is for you. And that's something always to remember, that our despair and hopelessness has been overturned into hope and future grace because of the revelation of the Father through the Son, through Jesus. That's a beauty. Job knew he needed it, that revelation. He pondered it, but we get to look back in history and read about it. Very cool. So great couple chapters wrapping up the weekend, and you guys enjoy the weekend. Have a great one, and thanks always for joining me on these devotions. Take care. Bye-bye.